everyone. Welcome to Let's Jazz It Up, Blog Talk Radio. This is Brenda Moss, a.k.a. Lady Diva here. Welcome, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in. That is Squad Up by Satish Robertson here on my platform this evening. Phone lines are open. Please feel free to call in and give Satish a shout out. Satish, where are you calling from?
Hello, Brenda. Thanks for having me here. I am calling from Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn, New York. All right. All right. Come on, call in, Brooklyn. Call in. Your dude Satish is on the platform. All right. So, Satish, what's up with Squad Up? Is there a story behind that track I'm playing right now?
Yeah, there is a story behind that track. That track was recorded summer of 2017,
Wow.
but I composed it in May of 2017. Very interesting story. I just dropped my daughter off to school at that morning, and I started hearing the piece in my head. I started hearing like this kind of hip hop beat with those horn lines, ba-da-da.
Yeah.
I said to myself, I am not going to let myself forget this piece. Funny enough, I had a show to do. It's my band that night, and we already had rehearsed all the music that we had planned to do. But I came home and I scrambled and wrote a sketch of that piece out, and I said to myself, I know we didn't get a chance to rehearse this. This is brand new, but I'm just going to throw it on these cats.
Right.
And so I brought it to the gig. I handed everybody the sheet music. And they looked at me like, okay, we already rehearsed all the rest of the material. So here I am throwing them a curveball. And I basically told them as best I can the feel that I want for the piece. What is it that I have in my head for the piece? And I kind of wanted like a post-apocalyptic New York vibe. Squad Up is primarily New York slang term for everybody rally your troops, come together. Yeah. And in my head, it's us coming together to, fight spiritual warfare, good versus evil. So that's what that piece represented to me. And so we played the piece as our opening number for the concert. And wow, it's one of the greatest feelings I've had as a musician in my life was hearing the way that piece was played for the very first time that night. So I invested in getting that song recorded, and I'm glad that I did.
Well, it's a very energetic, it's straight to the punch. It ain't hold no energy back. It's just out there. That's what I love about it. Yes, that is Squad Up, everyone. So, Satish, tell us all how your music journey began. What sparked your talent, your skills in being a trumpeter? What inspired you?
Well, I do come from a musical family. My mother was and is an excellent pianist, singer, and composer. And I grew up in my grandparents' household. My mother was always around though. And through both my mother and my grandmother, both of them had extensive record collections, and I fell in love with the music that both of them played. A lot of jazz, a lot of Motown, a lot of classical, R&B, everything. Right. As far as jazz goes, John Coltrane really stuck out to me. Sarah Vaughan, George Benson, Wes Montgomery, all these wonderful jazz artists. And at the age of 7, I started having piano lessons, and my piano teacher was actually my mother's piano teacher from her childhood.
Wow.
And so I had him teaching me piano, and when I would go spend the weekends with my mother, she would teach me as well. And so on and so forth. Yeah, years went by, and I gradually fiddled with other instruments. Okay. But I was 20 years old, just on the verge of turning 21, when I decided that I wanted to pick up the trumpet. That's a very late age to start for someone who decides that they want to become a serious trumpet player.
A trumpet is so hard to blow into. I've tried it. I can't do it.
And
so I
what
know
led
you
me
had
to
a
the
lot of
trumpet,
sides and licking your lips and your cheeks
yeah.
and everything. Don't they ever get sore?
Well, my lips might get fatigued if I play a whole lot, but I have exercises that I practice every day to maintain my stamina and my endurance. So it takes several hours because of the way I practice. It takes several hours for me to become tired.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's just like weightlifting for the face. Like your strength and your endurance grows if you train the right way.
Right.
As far as what led me to the trumpet, I really started digging deep into the music of Miles Davis around that time, to the point to where I would have, and I fell in love with all of his music, the great stuff he did in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and even the controversial stuff that he did in the 70s and 80s, where some purists were looking down on him for fusing jazz with rock and funk and pop and all those things. But I loved it all, and that made me want to become a trumpet player. The sound that he got out of it, the intimacy that he got out of it.
Right. So how long you been in the music industry?
So I've been playing trumpet for 19 years now, and I've been playing on stage before audiences for 15 years. I did my first shows. Did my first shows in 2005, same year my daughter was born.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
And I did my first, and I did my first studio session the following year.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that information. So, do you still play around with the piano?
Absolutely. And later on, when we get into my latest projects, I'll break into that more. But yes, I still do. I have a piano right in the house, and I've been teaching myself some of my favorite Brazilian music on it lately.
Okay. So, as we move along, we're going to talk about your EP, the 80s joint. Yes. So, I want to mention about the track Gratitude and Every Time I Come Around You, which I will play in the show here. Before I spin it, go ahead and is there a story behind each of those tracks there?
Yeah. I will start with Every Time I Come Around You, since that story is much briefer. Every Time I Come Around You was one of the first tracks I created for my EP, and with this EP, I wanted to capture different flavors of the 80s. These are all original compositions, but they all have some element of a lot of the pop music that we listen to, those of us who were in the 80s. And with Every Time I Come Around You, I just wanted something very feel-good, something that feels kind of innocent, like puppy love, and just excitement. And I Every Time I Come Around You was my nod to Michael Jackson. I deliberately threw in elements. Like if you listen to his track from Thriller, Baby Be Mine, you'll hear where I'm going with that song.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm getting ready to spin Every Time I Come Around You, which I do love that track as well. Stay in that seat, Satish. We'll be right back with some more questions. And here is Every Time I Come Around You. All right, Satish. Now, why don't you go ahead and give everyone your website information and your social media pages as well?